So this is a bus bar that I made for distributing power from my power supply to my radios. You know, I guess if you're a purist, you probably maybe don't want wood, but I fastened it to the wall with wood, and then these are stainless steel, I believe. I think that's how I did them. And then this is copper, and this is made out of a copper pipe. I have to make another one of these, so I'm going to show you how I did that. You can buy pieces of copper or brass, but that works really good, and I'm going to show you how I made that. So this is my outside bus bar. You can see again I have the wood mounted to the inside of the box, and this is brass. I picked this up, I can't remember, it's some type of a, I want to say a yard sale or online, something like that. And then I have it grounded to a ground rod down there that's bonded into my box. But you can see here again I have this strap, and this strap is also copper pipe, and I basically just splayed it open and flattened it out. Inside I also have a bus bar similar to this that I have my ground lines all going to. It's grounded with this, and I believe this is number 6 if I remember right. Number 6 copper, solid copper wire, and then this is a braid, copper braid. So that's how I'm doing my grounding in my shack. Now look, there's all kinds of arguments and all kinds of discussions about grounding. Any grounding is better than no grounding. The project that I'm making the current bus bar for, I'm going to explain to you why it's a good idea. Even if you don't have lighting, wind can cause issues with static electricity. So I'm going to show you how to make that bus bar. So I have a 2-meter radio that's on my house, and I put it up, the antenna up relatively quick, and I just ran the wire through and connected it and all of that without thinking. And so what happened was it got super windy out there, and the wind creates static electricity against your antenna, and it comes down your coax, and I heard a clicking. And so once I got to the radio, I knew what it was because I've had that problem elsewhere. So at least on another occasion. So I'm going to add, I have this box, it's like an old electrical box. So I'm going to make a bus bar out of this copper pipe, and I'm going to put it in here so that it's not exposed to the elements. And then I'm going to attach one of these lightning suppressors. This is an old school one. This isn't the one, these aren't the ones I use on my main shack, but I have them, and so I'm going to go ahead and use this one for the 2 meters. When you're using copper or brass, I don't want to say it's important. I haven't really noticed. It takes a long time, but you want to use some type of metal in your anchors or attachments that isn't going to react with the copper. So usually I think that's stainless steel. I haven't had any issues using other ones that are coated. They seem to be fine, and I think that the reaction, it takes years and years, so you know, by the time it reacts you may be ready to do a different solution or whatever. But anyway, in this case what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten this out, and then I'm going to drill it and bore holes in it so I can attach the grounds to it. And like in the case of the other bus bars, I had multiple attachments. This one's only going to have this because it's only going to be that one radio in there. So I'm going to get started and flatten this out. And you can flatten this out multiple ways. You can use a press to flatten it, which is what I'm going to do. You can flatten it with a hammer, any of those things to get it flat. And then you can shape it however you want to shape it, mount it. I'm trying to decide how I want to mount this. I guess we'll see at the end of the video. And then go ahead and attach your whatever you're going to attach to it. So here we have our standard, this is like a Harbor Freight 12-ton jack. I've got the pipe in between the plates there. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flatten this out. And this, when this is done, it makes a really, you don't have to do it a couple of times and then, you know, finish it off with a hammer. You don't need a big press. There you go. And then now you just let it up a little bit. All right. Let's see what we got here. I hate doing stuff one-handed. And there you go. That's all you need for your bus bar. And now you can just drill and tap that and, you know, attach your wires or your lightning suppressor or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flatten this whole thing out because I imagine I'm gonna use the whole thing at one point or another, and I'm gonna put that in there. It's easier to do with two hands, but you get the point. You can also flatten this with a hammer if you want, but it's not gonna be as uniform. The hammer sort of, you'll get, you know, bits and bumps sticking out, but that's what it looks like. So now this is the final product. I believe this was a 3/4 inch piece of copper pipe, but this is after it's been flattened out. Makes a perfect bus bar for connecting electric. You got way more copper in here than you're gonna have in a 12 or 14 gauge wire. If you're talking about the skin effect, you're good here. And this will make a perfect bus bar for this box that I'm gonna repurpose to run my coax in and all the rest of it. So I'm gonna figure out the size and I'm gonna cut this and bend this to the way I want it. You can just basically put this into a vise or anything with a straight edge and fold it however you want to fold it. And that's what I'm gonna do to complete this. So after some bending and folding, this is my copper bus bar. So now what I have to do, I don't have to drill and tap anything for this. I can just drill through this and attach this. And what I'm going to do, and I'm sure I'm going to get grief from the purists, I'm going to take a 10 gauge wire and I'm going to also run it to the back of this and run it down to a ground rod next to the house. And that's then going to have this there, and hopefully that will stop some of that static electricity that gets built up with the wind. If not, I guess you just disconnect it, but that's the next step. So this is the, I'll say it's the semi-finished product. It's actually in there pretty tight because of the caulk, but this was, like I said, an old electric box. And so what I did, you can see, I probably should have moved this a little further down to get some more room because that kind of comes up and over a little bit tight. I got a ground wire that goes to the back and it goes down. There's a ground rod under there, and hopefully this will take care of that static problem. But yeah, I just repurposed several things and there you go. That's your ground box for the 2-meter antenna that's up there. All it was a 3/4 inch pipe.